Welcome to Maths for All. I'm Aisling Flynn. This is Natural Numbers 2.1. We're going to look at multiplication. What is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3? It's equal to 15. This is addition of the same number. Can we write this a shorter way? Yes, we can. 5 multiplied by 3 equals 15. We say 5 times 3, or 5 multiplied by 3, or 5 by 3. It means 5 3's added together. What is 5 plus 5 plus 5? It's equal to 15. This is addition of the same number. Can we write this a shorter way? Yes, we can. 3 multiplied by 5 equals 15. We say 3 times 5, or 3 multiplied by 5, or 3 by 5. Or 3 5's are 15. Have you seen that 5 times 3 equals 15, but also that 3 times 5 equals 15? This is called the commutative property of multiplication. 5 times 3 equals 3 times 5. The order doesn't matter. Why is that? This graph shows 5 columns of 3 boxes each. This one shows 3 columns of 5 boxes each. But you can see that the total in both graphs is 15 boxes. So it is useful at this point to do some groundwork to learn your times tables. It will speed up your work in the future and make you more familiar with the numbers. This is how the table works. So if we look at the number 3 and underneath it we count up in threes, 3, 6, 9, 12 and so on, each time you're adding 3. So for example, here's our 5 3's. 5 multiplied by 3, we get answer 15. And equally, 3 multiplied by 5 gives us answer 15. So screenshot or print that and spend some time on it. So what about the multiplication of larger numbers? Recall how the decimal system worked for addition if you need to look back at the previous video. Let's see how we use the same idea for multiplication as we multiply some larger numbers. We'll begin by multiplying 246 by 3. So let's multiply these numbers. Just like addition, let's recall our hundreds, tens and units. And we write the larger number on top. We're going to multiply 246 by 3. Okay, so again, start with your units. Now 3 times 6 is 18, which is 8 units and 1 10. So we say we carry the 1. Continue. 3 times 4 is 12. But you have one here making 13. So that's 13 tens. So we can say that's 3 tens and 100, like addition. 3 times 2 is 6. But we also have this. So 3 2's are 6 and 1 is 7. So the answer to this multiply is 738. So what happens when you multiply by a number of 2 digits? For example, multiplying 153 by 14. To multiply by 14, we break it into 3 steps, because 14 is equal to 10 plus 4. First we multiply by the 4, then by the 10, and then we add the 2 results together. So multiplying 153 by 14. So using our decimal places again. Okay, so step 1 is to multiply by 4. Okay, 4 times 3 is 12. That's 2 and 1 10. Okay, now moving on, 4 times 5 is 20. and 20 plus this one is 21. So we write down 110 and 200ths, okay? 21. And moving to the left, 4 times 1 is 4, and this 2 makes 6. Okay, so essentially there we've multiplied 153 by 4, and this was the result. Okay, now we weren't asked to multiply by 4, we need to multiply by 14. So we've multiplied by 4, correct, and now we will multiply by the 10. So together they make 14. So how to multiply by 10? We're multiplying anything by 10 adds a 0 to the end, doesn't it? If we think about it, 3 times 10 is 30, 4 times 10 is 40, and so on. So we show that by under the units here, we place a 0 at the end of it. Okay? And then we multiply just by 1 instead. Okay? 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, so here's times 4, here's times 10. And now we'll combine those two answers to give us times 14. So 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 3 is 4. 6 plus 5 is 11. So that's 1 and 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So the final result, 153 by 14, is 2,142. Now, let's try a big one. Multiply 2046 by 123. That's a 3-digit number. So to do this, we will break it into 4 steps, because 123 equals 100 plus 20, or 2 tens, plus 3. First multiply by 3, then we'll multiply by 20, which is essentially 2 tens, and then we'll multiply by 100. Finally, we will add the 3 results together to get the final answer. Multiplying 2,546 by 123. Okay. Now you can see here that we have a 3-digit number. That means we're going to first multiply by 3, then by 20, and then by 100. So we'll have 3 separate multiplications, and then we'll combine the answers to give us multiply by 123. Okay, again, always start with the units. 3 6s are 18. Now give yourself lots of room on the page. So 18 is 8 units and 1 10. I'll just place it over there. Okay. By the 10s, 3 4s are 12, and 1 here makes 13. So 3 10s and 100. We're carrying the 1. 3 5s are 15, plus this one makes 16. So 6 and carry the 1. 3 2s are 6, and 1 is 7. Okay, so that's my times 3 done. Okay, now multiplying by 20, which is what this digit here represents, 20. Well, we can multiply by 10 first, and then by 2. Remember, 20 is 2 times 10. Okay, we learned in the previous example that multiplying by 10 adds a 0, so I'll place that there. And then we simply multiply by 2, giving the result of multiply by 20. So 2 6s are 12, so that's 2 and 1, 12. 2 4s are 8, and 1 makes 9. 2 5s are 10, so that's 0 down and carry your 1. And 2 2s are 4, and 1 is 5. Okay, so there we've multiplied the top number by 20. You can see we're getting large numbers. I may need extra space on the left. Okay, and so that's times 20 completed. Now the final multiplication is to multiply by 100. That's what this number here represents, 100. Now multiplying anything by 100 appears to add 2 zeros to the end. So this is how the method works. You should have 2 zeros here before you begin. And then just multiply by your 1. So 1 6 is 6, 1 4 is 4, 1 5 is 5, and 1 2 is 2. So I'm just going to squeeze that in there. Okay. And so that's my 3 separate multiplications done. And to get my final answer, I'm going to combine those 3 results. Okay, 8 plus 8, 0 plus 0 is 8. 3 plus 2 plus 0 is 5. 6 and 9 is 15, and 6 is 21. That's 1 down, carry your 2. Again, your placing of these little numbers is for your own tracking. You can place them wherever you like. 7 plus 4 is 11, and 2 is 13. So 3 and 1. 5 and 5 is 10, and 1 is 11. And carry your 1, and 2 and 1 is 3. So a large multiplication there, 313,158. So now let's look at a word problem. A box of pencils contains 64 pencils. How many pencils are in 8 of these boxes? We could add 64 to itself 8 times, or we could use multiplication. So we're looking at 8 64s, or 8 multiplied by 64. And the answer is 512 pencils. Multiplication can be written in a few different ways, so just be aware of this as we go forward. We've just seen the typical multiplication sign, which looks like an X, 5 times 3. The use of brackets is common in maths. 5 right up beside the brackets with 3 inside means 5 multiplied by 3. Sometimes both of those numbers might be in brackets. So with brackets beside brackets with no space between or no other symbol in between means multiply. And when you get to algebra and the use of unknown numbers or variables, where we use letters such as X or A, we can write it like this, 5x. It means 5 multiplied by x. You have 5 of that unknown number. Or 10a means 10 times a, or we say 10a. Now it's time for you to do it. Check you have understood the lesson by doing the quiz called Forms Multiplications. Okay, and you can practice by completing the written exercises of this name. Today's glossary is here if you want to pause and take note.